Turner community, we are excited to have kids back in school in person and are so glad to see some kind of normalcy returning to our classrooms. I thank you for taking a few minutes to check out what's been going on in Turner during the third quarter.
In the area of student achievement for third quarter, we have accomplished quite a bit. In the area of curriculum, we had the math pilot at Junction Elementary School to determine whether we would use Reveal Math or move on in the decision-making process. Those teachers completed that, and we will be moving on to look at a more broad selection of math resources. The science and health teachers were in to review resources, and they will finish up that process fourth quarter. In the area of instruction, we completed the Science of Reading training, K through 12. If you'll recall, we did the first 3 hours of that training in the first semester, and here in the last third quarter, we completed the last 3 hours of it. All the K through 5th grade teachers were trained in guided reading third quarter as well. K through 3rd grade teachers were trained by the instructional coaches, and it was more of a review with follow-up observations. 4th and 5th grade teachers were trained by Fontes and Pinnell, as many of them had never been through the formal training, and Betsy followed up with them with observation and review. We had a couple of high school teachers attend an AVID Digital XP training in the reading strand that AVID provides. All of that training was provided by the Link grant. In the area of intervention this quarter, we were excited to start Boost again at the elementary level. We also added intervention positions at every level with our CARES money, which will be exciting. We began to plan an extensive summer school. Currently, the enrollment of summer school at the elementary level is larger than the enrollment at Junction Elementary in any given year. We've doubled the size of the middle school and high school summer schools. In addition, we have purchased a number of intervention materials. We expanded the Phonics 95% group materials. We also purchased intervention materials in vocabulary.
I'm going to give you our quarter 3 employee support update so you can see the great things going on around the district with the best resource we have, and that is our human resource. The first thing I want to share with you, in no particular order, is because we're excited to share that we have the Hispanic Serving Institutions Career Collaborative. The Hispanic Serving Institutions Career Collaborative is an organization that puts together a lot of universities and colleges that have a high Hispanic enrollment, and they do career fair, and it's just geared toward Hispanic students. And that's pretty exciting for us because in our committee, that was one of our main goals this year, was to make sure that our demographic in our community is matching our demographic of employees. And in order to do that, we need to make sure that we're recruiting and being mindful of that. We were able to sit in session 1, Building a Family, Community, and Inclusive Corporate Culture panel, and they spoke about being mindful of your PD, your onboarding, and then session 2 was reducing unconscious bias in your recruitment process. So tomorrow, the universities that are going to be participating in the career fair that have a long list of students who are interested in secondary and elementary education. And that's going to be our last recruiting opportunity this season. We're filling positions, and our principals are doing a really nice job of interviewing and selecting our new candidates for our openings for the upcoming school year. And hopefully on the 20th, you'll see a lot of names on that agenda. The other thing I wanted to talk with you about are classified buddies. I updated you briefly on that last quarter update, but I just want to let you know that it's going really well, and we have a couple of our buddies that are kind of graduating out because they had a 90-day time period. So whenever those employees have their evaluation and their transition to a full-time employee, then their buddies kind of get released as well. And we're hoping that we can see that they built some friendships and that'll last a lifetime here in our school district and help our employees. So we'll know more next year when we're able to give some of those surveys to the new employees that we're able to have buddies, and we can find out some feedback and see how we're going to tweak our new plan for that and kind of our checklist of what they cover with our buddies.
In Community Connection for the third quarter, we've continued to find ways to virtually engage with our stakeholders while continuing to look forward to being able to bring visitors into our schools and our students out into the community once it is safe to resume in person. We continue to communicate with our families and community through our social media channels, as well as through our SMORE newsletters that are sent out by each building monthly, and we've also added a food services newsletter and an early childhood literacy newsletter as well. Both of these have received really great engagement. We were able to participate in Turner Rec's Easter Egg Fest and represented the district with an early childhood literacy table with activities for the families that showed up. This quarter, we also connected with Workforce Partnerships Youth Program. This is a great program that helps at-risk youth and connects them with different trainings and resources to help them identify different career opportunities. And Workforce Partnership also will pay for these opportunities and trainings for students. This will be a great resource for our students who don't have a plan when they graduate from Turner High School, and will be able to connect with Workforce Partnership to find a path that works for them. The organization has agreed to do some data tracking of the students that we refer to them, so we'll be able to see if those students have been able to go on to find viable career options through the resources provided by Workforce Partnership. This quarter, we've also started doing some really exciting planning for in-person events and activities later this spring and summer. Some of those events include activities at the Casey Farm School and Turner Community Garden.
The positive learning and work environment continues to focus on providing a safe learning and working environment for our students and our staff. This quarter, the 5 Essentials survey was sent out to parents, students, and staff. This information has been valuable in helping guide our district and evaluate our strategies and interventions to see what is making an impact on student achievement and safety and support in our buildings. Unfortunately, due to conferences being held virtually this year, our parent response was lower than the previous years. We also saw a drop in student response from our students that were working virtually. Administrators and staff will be reviewing the survey to establish areas of strength as well as areas that need improvement. Strategy 2 addresses a supportive environment for all students, teachers, and community members. Through this strategy, a focus group was established to better understand diversity, equity, and inclusion in our district. The team has met 5 times this quarter. They are exploring 3 questions they felt were valuable in recognizing the direction of our district and how it should be headed. Number 1, what growth or accomplishments have we seen related to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the Turner School District? Number 2, what challenges do we face in the Turner School District when implementing diversity, equity, and inclusion? And number 3, what gaps exist in the school district related to diversity, equity, and inclusion? They have since moved forward to start aligning the identified needs and gaps with the strategic plan and starting to identify proposed solutions. This quarter, we initiated the data tracking system to track the social-emotional needs of our students. It also tracks what services we provided the students. In this quarter, there were 4,405 times a counselor, social worker, or school psychologist met with a student. The areas that showed the greatest needs for our students is in executive functioning and academic support, self-regulation, and anxiety symptoms. 30 families were connected to outside resources and 9 students were referred to PACES. This data helps us as a district recognize areas that need more intensive support. Clearly, the students are struggling with what has happened this year and the need for more instructional and emotional support is needed. Spring is moving into full bloom and it is beautiful. It is marked by lengthening days and budding trees, but also with the hope that things are getting better and we will be able to put this last school year with all the stress and uncertainties behind us.
During the third quarter, construction at the middle school continues and we expect to be ready for school next year. We've also had great feedback on our bus tracking software and had the opportunity to use it a few times during the third quarter. Also during the third quarter, we've begun hosting soccer and track events at the district activity complex. It has been a great sight to see the stadium full and the facilities being used.